Do you ever feel like you're just repeating the past and you're not really sure why that is? You're not really sure how to break out of this, and if you can even break out of it. You try, but you just keep repeating negative and bad situations from the past. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you why that happens, how to break out of it, and you'll never have to worry about this again if you watch this video. So I'm going to keep it nice and short and we'll go through it. So let's get into it. Why do we repeat the past? Why is this? Well, you know, it's a big question, right? It's a big question. Well, we all have our current situation. This is where we currently are. And we all have a past and we all have a future. And the future is where we're working towards. We have goals in the future. We have things we want to do, things we want to get done. And, you know, we're working towards that. We're trying to get there. You know, so that is what we're doing right now. And that is what we're all essentially doing. This is what the global economy is based on. People selling you stuff to help you get to your goals. So that's just the way it works. But the problem is, the past lingers on. The past is always in there, always affecting us, always, you know, subconsciously dictating our behavior. So what do I mean by this? Well, when you behave in the present, your brain, well, consciously, your brain, you know, you say, I want to be more, I want to make YouTube videos, or I want to go do public speaking and change my career, whatever it is, right? That's your conscious mind, but your subconscious mind just says, well, wait a minute, what happened in the past? Okay, in the past, you were not very confident in this situation, that situation, that situation. So this is how we should behave now. So you don't know this is happening. This is like why if you ever have this feeling of like, I really want to, I'm going to do this thing, I'm not going to repeat like how it used to be, and it just happens despite your hardest effort. It's because of this. So that is what is affecting you right now. And what we have to do to change this is we have to reframe the past. So a lot of us have a big story about our past. We say, this happened to me, and that happened to me, and this happened to me. So this is why something in the present. This is why, this is my story, this is my identity. And it becomes like a kind of identity that you're hanging on to, right? So what I suggest you do is reframe your past. You know, delete it as a sort of story, a negative story, if it is negative, if there are negative things, and reframe it as a positive. This crazy bad stuff happened to me, and that is why I'm going to overcome it and reach my goals. So instead of like, so you're becoming almost like a movie character who, you know, a movie character who's like overcoming all these obstacles to reach his goals. So that's what a great movie normally is. Somebody overcoming all these obstacles to reach the goal. So that's the first thing. You reframe the past. And then also, how do we delete essentially all this like negative experience that is creating this cycle here? Well, what we have to do is we have to create future experience that is positive. So let's say we were always, you know, bad at public speaking. We just had horrible experiences public speaking. So what we have to do is we have to visualize positive experiences in the future. Visualize the opposite of the negative experience in the past. So you would visualize public speaking and it just going amazingly, so confident, so charismatic, so enjoying yourself, you know, just like having a great time doing public speaking. And you visualize this every day as much as possible. And what you're doing is you're creating positive, almost like memories. It's never happened, but your brain thinks it's happened, that start to delete the negative memory. And so, whatever is the dominant thing in your brain will delete the opposite, right? Because you can't be two polarities at once. You can't be shy and confident at the same time. So if you visualize being confident enough, and you're a shy person, you'll become a confident person. The shy, you will just transition to that side of the spectrum, right? So you could think of like every behavior, every thing as just on a spectrum. Like, let's see, public speaking has a positive and negative spectrum. So you're just on the spectrum, the negative, and you can go far over to the positive on the other side. So that is essentially what you need to do. Visualize the other side. And what you're doing is you're creating, because the brain does not know the difference between a real visualization and a just imagined visualization. So, that's why if you visualize it from the perspective of you behaving that way, and you visualize it strongly enough and with emotion, it will become a belief, and then that's the way you'll behave. So then your brain will start referencing the future. How should I behave in this situation? Oh, this way, because that's happened so many times. And you'll forget about all the negative stuff in the past. You literally will forget about that. And then you'll become, and then, what will happen is, positive situations will happen, and then those positive situations will be your past. So you'll be like over here, and this will be the past, right? So you'll actually create a new past, and that one will fade away. And that will just become part of your story about how you're going to how you overcame all this stuff to become so great. Okay, so that is why you're stuck repeating things if you feel that way, and why and how, rather, that you can change that situation to achieve your goals and get what you want. So hope you really enjoy this. Hope you got a lot of value from it. Give it a go. Reframe your past. Think of something you want to change. Reframe your past and create some visualizations to counteract the opposite side of any negative stuff from the past. And do it every day for 30 days, every day, and just watch how your behavior will change. It will truly change. So hope you found that valuable. If you did, awesome. Also, if you want to go more deeply into this stuff, I have a link below where you can talk to me about any problems you're having. And yes, so awesome. Have a great day. See you next time. Bye.